So I am making a Southwest omelet burrito. I'm sauteing all this first so when I put the eggs in, everything is already cooked and nothing is hard and crunchy. I also added in some garlic paste just to give it a little bit more flavor because I really do not add salt to my food anymore. Ah, shit. Did you even have a childhood if you didn't have one of these scars? Okay, so let's go to Jada's appointment because her arm slipped out. So she's more than likely is going to have another surgery. But stay tuned because I'm going to be showing you guys pictures and giving you a little a little story time on how her nurse, and let me just preface this is not every nurse in the world, this is not every nurse that works at the hospital. I work in healthcare, I've worked in a hospital setting, trauma codes and all that, so I know all the things. Okay, so this one isolated situation that I'm going to be story timing about has no reflection on every other nurse, you as a nurse or anybody else. So I just want to clear that because I already know someone is still going to take offense to it, but you don't need to because this isn't about you. This started with one tattoo. I said, don't get any more. I was with her when she got this one. It was in respect to my mom. But then we have all this. I don't even know. I don't even know. Of course, as a mom, I don't want to see her with all those tattoos because Jada was such a little girly girl and prissy and all of the things when she was growing up. But she got that one tattoo and it blazed the trail. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the experience she had at the hospital. So I'm going to insert a video or a picture to show you what her arm looked like at the time that she was at the hospital. So I don't want to drag this story out, but they just took her back to do another x-ray. So we're at our doctor here in our city. But when the injury occurred, she was in a different city. I'm purposely leaving the hospital, the name, and the nurse and all that off just because, again, that one person doesn't make up the whole entire population of nurses in that particular hospital because typically they do a good job if Jada ever has to go there. But Jada's had issues with her shoulder before, so she had surgery in 2018 as a result of an injury at school. So that resulted in her needing to be escorted to the hospital in a squad because her shoulder was dislocated during a gym incident. So Jada just walked back in from her x-ray, but I'm going to continue the story. So when she finally gets back to her room at the hospital in the city that she was in, because again, I'm not going to disclose where because I don't want to make it seem like it's the whole entire hospital and it was everybody at the hospital's problem because it wasn't. But anyway, so she gets into the room with this particular nurse. Mind you, I'm on FaceTime because I'm not in the same city as she is at this particular time. And so her arm is hanging out. So if you saw the video or the picture, I haven't decided which one I'm gonna insert. But if you saw that, you saw that it looked painful. So in the meantime, in between time, when she should be asking Jada, is there any assistance that she could be of to her? She's standing there with a blood pressure cuff in her hand, not asking what could she do to make it easier, how could she assist Jada, because she's determined to get her vitals. So I wasn't even mad that she was doing her job by asking to get Jada's vitals. I was more mad because she wasn't being of any assistance. She's standing in front of Jada with this blood pressure cuff, asking her, can she use her right arm? Because that obviously wasn't the arm that was dislocated, but her right arm was supporting her left arm, and she's in excruciating pain. She hasn't been seen by the doctor yet. She hasn't even did anything. The first person that she sees is this nurse that is being very, very unprofessional and not helpful. So we've left the doctor. Jada's in rapid fire getting some pizza, but I'm trying to wrap this up and not drag it out. But anyways, the reason I said she was being unprofessional is because she really wasn't offering any assistance to Jada. She just was standing there staring at Jada, asking her, is it okay if she used her right arm? Mind you, her right arm is supporting her left arm. She's in excruciating pain. She hasn't seen the doctors yet. They haven't came in to decide what the protocol was going to be for this particular situation. So the nurse is just standing there. And because I'm on FaceTime and I can see everything, obviously, I'm not being, mild and meek about it. I'm letting her know she's being unprofessional. She's not being helpful at all. And there's other ways and methods that she can take her blood pressure cuff. So she's getting mad at me because I'm telling her she cannot have her blood pressure taken right now, at least not with her right arm. So then she proceeds to say it's not her right arm that's injured, it's her left arm. And that would fall under the word duh, because we're both looking at what arm is injured. But for some reason, she was missing the fact that Jada couldn't move her right arm because it was supporting her left arm. And she's in excruciating pain. And her shoulder is literally looking like it's hanging off the bone. She then tells Jada's friend to leave the room because I'm on FaceTime on her phone because she was tired of hearing my mouth. She didn't want to hear me say anything else. And I wouldn't either because I'm correcting her on what she's doing incorrectly and what she should be doing more of. She was literally standing there holding that blood pressure cuff, not even trying to ask if Jada needed a blanket to prop her arm. She wasn't asking anything. She's just standing there like a deer in the headlights. And I'm becoming unhinged because my child is in excruciating pain. So once the young lady leaves out of the room, I tell her to go back in. And the only way I'm going to leave out of the room, or she's going to leave out of the room, is if Jada asks me to leave out of the room. So of course Jada realized that I'm unraveling. And she says, just step out. It's okay, Mom. So homegirl meaning the nurse, she did all of that only to end up doing Jada's blood pressure on her ankle. Why? Because she realized Jada couldn't move her arm. She was in pain. And she says, you know what? I'm just going to take your blood pressure on your ankle. But I will say, she did say she was trying to get her vitals to make sure everything was stable. Well, when you're in that amount of pain, nothing is stable. And it was just irritating to me because I've never personally encountered a bad nurse. Like, I've always had nurses that goes above and beyond. They're very nice and all of that. I was just taken aback of how she was. Now, there was another nurse, but that's a whole nother video and all that I won't ever get into. But I'm just saying, I've never just seen nurses act like that. And she was a one-off. So we're at Pat's Donuts and Cream. I don't know what kind of food emotion she's lingering in, but we're here getting donuts now. Again, I'm not trying to really nail her to the cross because it just could have been a one-off. It could have just been a thing where she really didn't know what to do and she was a little bit perplexed. But again, working in that type of environment, you've probably seen a lot worse. So again, I'm not sure why she just was a little reluctant to do more than what she was doing, which was just be bound and determined to take her blood pressure. But again, like I said, I made the necessary phone call that I needed to so that we didn't have to experience that again, or so she could just know moving forward. So all is well now, but working in a healthcare profession, you have to stretch yourself a little bit more. Sometimes you got to do that one thing you don't want to do. You may have to ask that question you really don't want to ask. And again, she may just wanted to wait to see if Jada was going to say, can you help me do X, Y, and Z? But again, I'm telling her, she can't. And at that point, she should have said, is there anything that I can do to make this more easier or comfortable or whatever? But all that to say, that's why I was upset. We have a follow-up appointment in 2 weeks, so we'll know what we're going to do moving forward. More than likely, Jada's going to end up having to do another surgery. And I'm not mad about it because I'd rather it get fixed and taken care of than dragging it out and then she has another episode like she has now. So stay tuned. If you're interested, if you care, I will keep you updated. Peace.